What's up, everybody? Supersmallchibiwolf here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Gurren Lagann. Gurren Lagann is a 27 episode anime series, so with that, let's continue on. First thing I'm talking about is the story. Gurren Lagann starts off with showing a society that lives underground due to their fears from, from or for dangerous beastmen that remain above them on the surface. Here in this town underground, we are introduced to Simon, a young kid, and his friend Kamina, a guy with a dream of going up to the surface to discover what's up there. This is a story of Simon, Kamina, and their friends fighting to restore freedom to the surface. During their adventure, they successfully steal a mecha from an enemy. Then, after discovering another mecha underground, Simon and Kamina combine both gunmen to create Gurren Lagann. From here, they set off on their adventure to defeat the Spiral King and have freedom for all humans on the surface of Earth. The story evolves, and later on, I will talk more about it. But for now, this is where Gurren Lagann starts off. Now, story-wise, I think I enjoyed it, to be honest. It was interesting, even when it moved on later on. Uh, it's pretty cool, also. And to be honest, like story-wise, because it evolves and all that. Like I said, story-wise, I enjoy the beginning, but when character-wise and like all that stuff, later on it gets really interesting, and that's how I would put it, the two. So if you're interested in story-wise, the character-wise, wait later on, but for the story-wise, like the main story, then the beginning. You know what I mean? So that's how I see it. So the next thing I want to talk about is the characters. The characters range from cool, amazing, and fun to watch. That's my usual saying. In other words, I love them. So yeah, that's my usual thing. And yeah, there's a few that I didn't put in here because, well, it takes too much time. And plus, there's some that I didn't like, including some of the villains were just, you know what I mean? Could have been better. But moving on from there. First character I want to talk about is Simon. Simon, he was a shy and not so much outgoing person. What I do love is his story that eventually leads him to becoming a guy that can leave his fears and all those feelings and things that have been holding him back to change into someone who can take control, fight on, and lead his friends to victory, just like Kamina did before him. I would say Simon really did have a great character development. Now, from being a lonely kid with only Kamina as a friend to becoming someone who is useful, and he shows that he can handle difficult times even when it has, or when a lot of people have kind of saw him downwards, as a lower person. But eventually, he succeeds and regains his respect for those who have looked kind of lost faith in him, let's say, you know. And yeah, man, I enjoyed Simon. Now, I would say Simon, I enjoyed him, man. As a character, he was pretty cool, It's also, if you want to round it up, it's kind of one of those, anime stories of the underdog trying to become something good, you know. But I'd say for Simon, I enjoyed him more due to number one, mech animes. I haven't really been reviewing them throughout this Chibi reviews, so I'm gonna give him a pass, man. Hell yeah, yo, I'll give him a pass. So yeah, man, I enjoyed Simon in the story. Eventually, later on, especially, when he becomes, later on. So the next character I want to talk about is Kamina. So, oh, here we go, man. Kamina, he was a funny dude, man. I enjoyed this guy. He was a little bit of a pervert, but hey, man, you can't have an anime without one character being like that, right? But yeah, I love how he had so much heart for his team. He wasn't a angry boss, god complex person who eventually learns to be nice. No, none of that. Kamina was a guy that had faith on what he was doing and tried his best to show everyone that he can do it. He is a person. I would say, I loved how he did it. He actually went out and was like, look, you see all this, I'm going to change all of this. And he does. You know, a lot of times I've been seeing, games, etc. And they kind of mess up what they try to do, like comedy wise, that character wise. I've seen it really in other medias recently, but so that's why I enjoy Kamina more. Just seeing him within these episodes, just succeeding on what most people couldn't. And I don't know, moving on from that. But yeah, man, I love how he, you know, just everything, man. He had like this personality wise, he was more of a character that I really liked. He was entertaining. He was the funny one. He was the one to just be a little bit, a little bit, not the dumb character, but do a little bit over the top stuff, in other words, you know. And I don't know, just out of all Kamina, he was one of my favorite characters, to be honest with you. So, yeah. Also, Kamina and Simon were bros, and I just love that, While Kamina helped Simon out, Simon also helped Kamina out in certain ways. And they kind of work together in ways. And that connection between them is one that I really enjoyed also. Next character I'm talking about is Yoko, most likely the character everyone knows right off the bat. Let's be honest. Okay, even though she's not the main protagonist, let's be honest, man. She's like Kill la Kill has, Ryoko Matoi. Gurren Lagann has Yoko. Okay, I just had to put it out there. The only difference is Ryoko is actually cool, but what? No, I mean, but moving on from that. Yeah. By the way, I'm gonna make a. What was it? Yoko. Man, I enjoyed her. To be honest, like jokes aside and all that, you know, I must talk about the bad and the good. The bad about Yoko is, she's. I know, anime. It doesn't. Look, the issue about Yoko is they focused more on her being a sex symbol than everything else. And I want to say more about that, but I'm waiting for my upcoming video of Kill la Kill versus Gurren Lagann, comparing the two series on my series of which is better. Oh man, I just want to do that right now, just to compare the two, just to get it, out of my system, because I'm hyped for that. I'm hyped to do that. But moving on from that, let's just talk about Yoko. So, Yoko, man, yeah, she was a nice hearted girl, man, caring person, and one that I did enjoy. I enjoyed her story in part. Well, I don't know, just as say in the beginning and in the end, how her story evolves, how she evolves as a character as well. In the beginning, I'd say, she's the usual anime chick. You know what I mean? But besides that, if you could look past that, she's actually someone who is pretty smart and pretty talented in fighting. I that's how I looked at it. I enjoyed how, Kamina and Simon have that bro and master student relationship. Even during the fight, we also get while Yoko is part of all that and helping them out, with her sniper rifle and just being all out cool. I enjoyed her story, her background story was pretty cool as well. And out of all, I'd say Yoko, is one of, well, let's be honest, I just have to say, Yoko is probably a big reason people's gonna come to this anime. But moving on from that, the other characters range from, well, Nia's the only one that I want to bring up that was really good. And then the sisters and, yeah, I think that's it. Maybe one more person that I forgot his name. But besides that, I didn't like the other characters, to be honest. But moving on from that. Rusio. Dude, I want to talk about him because he actually did have a cool story. And I did find him interesting as well. So Rusio, he was a nice, cool dude. His story, I love his story and his village, Story wise, him as a character, how his character went on. I'd say he does become something later on, but then realizes that his ways is something that's been messed up, you know. And I liked how him and Simon has this conversation and the way it goes, because eventually we see Wucio becoming some character that is more likable than when he was first introduced. And when he was first introduced, he was pretty cool, I'd say, man. He was one that I did enjoy. So being better than that, you know, and going through what he went through, you know, I'd say he's a good character. I did enjoy him, you know, well, good character. So the other characters were funny, you know. They were like two that I didn't like, and a few villains, no issues, not a big deal. Just wanted to bring that out just to say it. But moving on from that, I like the music of Gurren Lagann. You know, the intro and an outro were they were pretty good. Okay, nice. Mm, but besides that, I would say the art that is shown during the intro and outro, you know, eh, they were okay. And all that is just all nice. I think there was just one songs. The songs in between the episodes, were good. Those were good. I'd say better than the intro and outro. The little small parts because the little stuff does matter in my opinion of music wise when it really comes down to it into detail. So, but moving on from that, the fight season in Golden Logan, they were creative, man. I did enjoy how Yoko, Kamen, and Simon, they all work together trying to. And now, let me explain. Well, I felt like Yoko, Kamen, and Simon had more connection and heart. Also, more funny drama moments, which resulted in moments which I loved. Also, not to spoil anything later on, it has funny moments also and cool fights, don't get me wrong. But the original three, they were just something special, those moments. And that's just how I feel, about the fight scenes in general. Don't get me wrong, later on, the fight scenes were cool. Okay? I'm not trying to, say, oh, later on, blah, blah, blah. No, 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 no. Just because I like the fight scenes early on doesn't take anything out of me liking the fight scenes late on. Especially the last fight was one of the best fight scenes of the entire anime series. Okay? So don't get me wrong, please. Moving on from that. So, uh, I like how, for mech anime, I would say Gurren Lagann is really fun to watch. The story fights and how each character shows us more great fights. I would say when it comes down to the mech scenes, like it really is pretty cool, man. I to be honest, because mech animes in general, I've seen good ones and I've seen bad ones, right? So keep that in mind. That's my experience with mech animes. Oh man, the bad ones are the bad ones. Oh man, I'm not even gonna bring them up. But Going Longer really does good at the mech scenes, and I enjoyed that. Because the last one before all this is like, no, no, and even movies nowadays with robots and all that stuff, it was you know what I mean. So to see Gurren Lagann and how they handle the mech fights and how they handle the mech scenes, it was like a refresher. It was like something like regaining hope for me. It's like me regaining hope for mechs out there, and I hope there's mech animes that are actually something just wow, you know what I mean? Like upcoming animes with mechs that we could look at it and be like, you know what? This is one of the best. This is one of the best. Because I do enjoy Gurren Lagann and I did love the mech scenes. And it sucks that, you know, recently a lot of stuff here and there movie was uh the Max big robot stuff hasn't really been big, you know what I mean? So seeing Gurren Lagann, it really did bring a lot of. I loved it because it really, what was it? Represented the mechs in a good way, and the way other stuff should do it. But instead, they do it badly. But moving on from that, Now, I don't want to, me, I'm not going to spoil anything, but the one thing I'm going to say is they do push a relationship, which does feel really like, what? It's in the same kind of dumb level of a comic book kill. How they, well, to be honest, it's kind of, well, it makes sense if you kind of think about it. I talk about it more in that review. And I'd also say compared to Tenchi and Muyo, to be honest, it's like saying Tenchi going to one of the Mihoshi, one of the cops, and end up, falling in love, blah blah blah. It just, what? Just because you're close to someone doesn't mean you're going to fall in love. What? It's just a small thing that I just wanted to bring up because I've seen it here and there with not just anime, other stuff as well. So that's just in general. I wanted to bring it up somewhere, and I just remembered it. I was going to talk about it maybe in another video I was planning, but then I was like, you know what? Just bring it up here because you're gonna forget later on, and which most likely I will. So yeah, man, I think Gurren Lagann. I'm gonna end it off here. Gurren Lagann, in my opinion, it is an anime that I would say I enjoyed. It really did. You know, give me just good start. You know what I mean? Good start is in. I watched a lot of stuff here and there, and you know what I mean. This was more of a refresher, you could say. So, and I'm not talking about the other animes I reviewed. I'm talking about like other stuff I watch, that I don't review. So yeah, Gurren Lagann. I love Gurren Lagann. I say one of my favorite animes of all time. The characters were pretty cool. The story wise, it was pretty nice. I enjoyed the connection between all the characters, the music, the art styles were pretty cool as well. And yeah, man, out of all, Gurren Lagann was, I'd say, one of my favorite animes of all time. Now, the animes I recommend are Neon Genesis Evangelion, a mecha anime, and one of the best of all animes, and My Neighbor Totoro, because, it feels like a nice, warm-hearted anime season is coming up soon. So, with that, I believe those two will keep you entertained until my next review. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, bye. Now, let me talk about spoilers. So, I'm going to try to be less than a minute talking about spoilers because it's, oh my god, 18 minutes. But moving on from that. So, I love how in the end we see how everyone has moved on with their lives. We see more of the characters. It kind of gave more heart to the characters and made me love them and like them a little bit more than I already did. Give me a dairy the Odals of Gurren Lagann. Dude, please give us like a little short series of that. The Cradles of Gurren Lagann. I want to see that. I want to see that because I have faith that that will be good and entertaining. Even if it was a slice of life, I don't care if it's a slice of life. Dude, for those who love Gurren Lagann, go see Gurren Lagann. For a serious story. For those who want to see a funny slice of life like I do, go see Gimme and Dowie. You know what I mean? There's two of my favorite characters, and I'm not saying a slice of life that doesn't have that's just like blah blah blah. You can make a slice. You can make a good anime that's short, serious. A slice of life that's short, or actual. But moving on from that. Now, the only thing I want to talk about is one more thing. And that is in the episode. What was it? Oh no, I mean Simon and Kamina. Because at this point we know Kamina sadly died, and but there was this moment where Simon and Kamina have, Kamina says the last talk, they have the last discussion with each other. And I love the scene because it shows how much someone can change someone's life. And, to see this, it really was just pretty cool, It made me feel like, wow, man, they had a better relationship and they really expanded on it, like we got to see a little bit more before the anime stopped because I thought it was just like, oh, Kamina sadly died. We're not going to see no more of him. But no, they brought him. We got to see a little bit more of that relationship between Simon and Kamina, and that's what I loved. Now, like I said, it's not that much. So with that being that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me in the comments what you think. And until next time, bye.